All right. Now, I'm going to be going live with Daddy Duck 365 here in about 40 minutes. So I'm going to sit here and talk for about 30 minutes. So if y'all want to hop in the comments, if you want me to bring you on, I'll drop the link. But I did want to go ahead and hop in, do a live, something that isn't just recorded with me doing editing and that sort of thing. So that way, whatever pops in my head about this topic, it just comes out as raw as you can get it. So I've been listening to tons of podcasts and tons of other YouTube videos where what's going on Minnesota outdoors, where people are talking about the drought and how it's affecting, the northern states like North Dakota, South Dakota, basically along that ridge line of where, the waterfowl are going to be coming down from Canada. So my thing with that, with the drought, the big question is it going to affect waterfowl season? That's the big question. People are saying that it's going to affect the hatch rates and it's going to affect their movement so far as what's going on, Josh? So far as their movement when they start to migrate, when the season starts and they crack that border into the U.S. Now, after doing some research on it, and I'm no weatherman by any means. I'm not a waterfowl expert. I like to just do my own research on it, listen to others what they have to say, and then make my own assumption on it. What I'm going to say right off the bat is I don't think it's going to affect anything. It's the same thing with the whole COVID scare where, people are saying, oh, well, the country's on lockdown. There's going to be 1 million, extra hunters. And, by the time they get down to the southern states, the birds are all going to be old and they're not going to decoy well, or they're all going to get, shot up before they even get to us. Which I don't know about y'all, but the last season for me was awesome. I hunted in Maryland and I also hunted in Tennessee, and going from the Atlantic Flyway out to like the Mississippi Flyway, there really wasn't much of a difference. Like obviously the number of birds out here in Tennessee, was a lot better duck wise, but so far as the birds being old, not fresh, and them just not decoying well. They decoyed just fine throughout the entire season for me. Now, is it just another scare? Is it somebody like big wigs that are out there, like for example, like Bobby Guy Films, that's talking about it, or the other big YouTubers? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's a scare. Maybe it is a real thing. Now, the way I look at it because people are always talking about how the flyways, they shift left and right, up and down, so far as north and south. Obviously they're not going to take the exact same path every single year and go to the exact same places. So, I mean, if you believe that that's what birds do, you should definitely do some research in the banding reports and just see how a bird is banded, way up in Quebec and it's killed, in California. So, I mean, they go all over the place. So now, do they stick within their flyway? I'd say typically for the most part. Now, the reason why I'm talking about that is with the drought being in North Dakota, South Dakota, and, the prairie pothole region, or however they say it, whatever nickname you want to give it. I think that what they'll do is they'll start their migration, and then if they get to a part where there's a big drought and there's no water and no food for them, they'll either keep moving or they'll just go around that area. Now, so far as it affecting the hatch rate, I don't think it's going to affect the hatch rate. because those birds, no. It's just like when thunderstorms rolling in. Typically, dogs, they'll want to go into the box and lay down. Deer, they'll turn around and go and bed down. So birds, they're not dumb. So I think that they more than likely knew, it's probably going to be a rough summer. So they probably went and, went to their different area and did their whole hatching. What's going on, everybody? Hey, I appreciate y'all hitting up the comments. Hey, don't forget to smash that thumbs up for me if you don't mind. But now, to get back to it, like let's say that it did. I can't even talk tonight. That it did affect the hatch rates. Okay, so that's like one little region that's really doing piss poor when it comes to water. I don't think it's going to be enough to affect the numbers to the point where we're going to see a dramatic drop, even within the next 5 years, a dramatic drop in bird numbers. Because I feel like with the way that the laws are written now, especially like here in Tennessee, you're only allowed to kill one pintail. I counted thousands and thousands of pintails out here. Even the mallard count. Like when I was out there in Maryland, you were only allowed to kill, one hen, and you could kill 2 drakes. But even for the geese, so the geese is my big thing. The geese out there in Atlantic Flyway, where I was hunting in Maryland, you're only allowed to kill 1. There were millions of geese where I was. So I feel like the way that the laws are now, whether if there was a bad hatch rate or a really good hatch rate, either way, when it comes to politics and whoever makes the laws, because obviously money talks, they've got it so constricted now. It doesn't matter if it's a good or bad hatch rate. We're still not going to feel the crunch in numbers. Like you're going to be like, there were about 5,000 less ducks, I saw this season. I don't think that's going to happen. Now, I will go to say if you say, well, we need the big numbers to be able to kill birds and that sort of thing. Well, I'll completely argue against that. Like, I'd much rather have little pods of, 2 and 3 ducks versus working a whole big pod of, 50 to 100 ducks. Because it's a lot easier to work those 2 to 3 than it is the big ones. Because, like I always say, I'm a baller on a budget. And the bigger flock that you're trying to pull into your spread, typically they want to see a big spread too. So, let's try to save some money here. I'm not saying that, we want smaller pods of birds, but I'm just saying, like, you shouldn't complain about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at these comments here. Scotted our ponds and private lake this past weekend. It was loaded up with mallards, wood ducks, and geese. That's awesome. And see, you're up north now. Are you having a problem with water? Hopefully bump east into Minnesota. Freezer bound. So what's up? Let's see here. I hope to have a better season this year in Maryland and actually get out more than once. Yeah, Matt, definitely got to get out there as much as you can. Hit those private or those public places. They actually got some decent public blinds up there, or at least where I was, up by Havre de Grace, that sort of area. Giveaway. I'm all for giveaways. And that's another thing that I wanted to talk about. Well, no, I didn't even think about talking about that tonight, but giveaways. So I'm coming real close on hitting 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm like 120 away. I did plan on doing 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I want to team up with Continental Creek Waterfowl. She makes some duck calls out of North Carolina. She's really good at turning duck calls. I've yet to talk to her about this, so if you're watching us now, I'm going to be sending you a DM. But I also want to team up with there's 2 or 3 other companies that I've been talking to and seeing if they'll pitch in something. And then I would like to go ahead and I'll probably end up making another lanyard and duck tote to throw into it, kind of like a starter. But I feel like to be able to crack 1,000 subscribers, if I had to put a time limit on it, it would probably be the next 2 months, 2.5 months. So I'll be able to crack it. But yep. So as for the water thing, that was my spiel. I really wanted to tag in that before I go in live with Matt from Daddy Duck 365. I will be going live with him here in about 30 minutes. So if y'all want to hop over there and hear us talk about duck hunt and that sort of thing, you're more than welcome. And make sure that you subscribe to his channel too. He's a good dude. But the water, I don't know. I'm seeing plenty of water around here. And so far as duck and geese movement, I got a couple wood duck holes that I've had my eye on. They're holding wood ducks. I did see a teal the other day, which is pretty cool. I didn't have my camera on me, so I couldn't zoom in with the phone. It looked like crap, so I didn't upload it to Instagram. But what else? I haven't really seen any geese around here. I really need to get out more and scout for the geese because I'm hoping to bang on some in September. But yeah, so far as the scouting, decent amount of smart weed. There's a big public place where I live called Haynes Bottom. I went down there. The TWRA, which is the people that run all the game warden stuff, it looked like they bulldozed like 90% of the blinds. So with this blind draw coming up, if I draw a site where you have to build a blind, definitely gonna probably have to get some help on doing that because I've never had to build a stationary blind like that, and I would have no clue what I'm doing. But they planted a whole bunch of corn. Corn looks good out there. They had tons of dove movement. So ponds are low, but the ducks like the grass growing up on the edges. Yep. Yeah, I could see that. So see, and that's another thing. The ponds might be low, but that's allowing that vegetation to really grow on the edges, like what you're talking about. So it makes it a little bit more easier access for them. So that way they don't have to completely get out of the water to go eat. So because typically they like to stray away from getting all the way up on the edge of the water line from predators and that sort of thing. So, I mean, could it benefit you with water levels being a little bit lower? I mean, I heard people in Michigan complaining that the water was too high in a lot of places that they were going, and it'd go from a couple inches to 6 feet deep in holes that were walkable through all of it, through the marsh. So I don't know. I think it's people just complaining about complaining. Let's see here. So many geese all over, and the problem is, yeah, the one bag limit. And see, and that goes back to what I was talking about. I think politics got involved when the Maryland people got together. If I remember correctly, that's where you're hunting at, is in Maryland. And if you go up to Havre de Grace, I guarantee you, especially right now, you go out there at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and you'll lose count of how many geese are up there. And if you get a chance to get on Aberdeen Proving Ground, thousands all over that entire post. So it's so bad that they, I mean, you can't even walk on the sidewalks without stepping in goose poop. So, and the same thing with Fort Meade. So you go down below Baltimore, Fort Meade, they actually installed a system on post where it costed thousands and thousands of dollars for this siren to make the geese move off the parade fields and stuff, instead of just letting the hunters hunt Fort Meade, which that was the most irritating thing ever. So it goes into your animal rights activist. Yeah, it's like so I got a video posted up on my channel. It was me hunting up there in Maryland. It's when I killed my first band, and two of them, it was a pair, came in, and I wasn't really even doing much calling. They turned around and came out, circled back around on my right, and I had to just pick one. So I wasn't band checking or anything like that. So I just picked the rear one and laid them out. But I could have got both geese, and it wouldn't have affected no numbers. But both of them were probably banded. But I lucked out and got the one. But yeah, I don't think the water is going to be an issue this year. So, and as for the weather itself, I was talking to some guys at work, and we were talking about the humidity and how the ponds looked on Fort Campbell, and like there's tons of like algae and stuff like that growing up on top. So when it comes to like duckweed and that sort of stuff, I feel like it's probably helping the vegetation in a sense where um, it's still growing because of all the moisture and stuff in the air. But I don't know. We'll see. I guarantee you, come mid-season, we won't even be talking about it, and then after season, no one will even mention it. It was the same thing. So I brought it up on. I won't name drop too much because I'm not sure who watches these videos, and I'll probably piss them off. But um, so I brought it up on this guy's channel where um, it's one of the big league YouTubers, and I threw up under a comment underneath one of his videos, and he was talking about the recap of his season, and he's out there in Kansas, and I was like, do you think that the whole COVID restrictions and how you said that there are going to be more hunters and all that sort of thing, like your predictions, do you feel like you are wrong, or do you feel like you were somewhat right or right all the way? And it was a pretty lengthy comment because I just wanted to like have him follow up on that, even though he didn't address it in his video. And the video was like, I want to say like 15 minutes long, but didn't address anything about the more he was talking like there was going to be at least a couple extra 100 hunters within the area that he typically hunts, and he was talking about numbers of your come on now, permits purchased and all that sort of stuff. And he made it seem like pretty much if you go out somewhere, like it was just going to be jam packed full of people because they either weren't working or they're laid off or whatever. And none of that was addressed. And I just think it was funny because it's like, all right, well, are you looking for is it clickbait, or are you just trying to scare people to not hunt, or what? I don't know. It's just really strange. So I don't want y'all to take this video as take this video as it is clickbait, just to be like, oh well, he's talking about the water and all that sort of stuff. Like, I don't know. It's a legit thing, and I'm definitely towards the end of the season when I do the season recap for this next upcoming season. I'm definitely going to go back and address it and let y'all know what I thought was going to happen and did it actually happen, and admit either if I was wrong or if I feel like I was right. Because if I'm wrong, hey, I'm a man. I'll own up to it. But I feel like a lot of people, they don't like admitting that they're wrong. Yeah, I appreciate Freezer Bound. So as for the Matt, you brought up a good question. So as for the ammo shortage, I think it will catch up. I feel like a lot of companies are saying that they don't have the powder, or they're hurting for finding primers. Like Boss sent out that email talking about the shortage. And I've listened to a few of the podcasts where he was on with like Ducks Unlimited. He was on with I think Dr. Duck. I think that's who it was. But anyway, doesn't matter. It was the owner of Boss. He was talking about how how he pre-orders and plans for 3 to 6 months out, so that way he has the stuff in inventory to be able to keep up with the orders. I think with all the other major companies, I feel like the shells are made and they're sent somewhere in a warehouse. So for one, they can either jack up the price or they can get the big flex in sales when it comes to like stocks and that sort of thing. And that's what a lot of like us country guys like really don't dig into. And the stock market is like a big thing, and quarterly sales is a big thing. So if you know anything about business, they're selling rifle and pistol rounds right now. Like they're making money off that, like plenty of money, to where they're keeping the flow going. And I feel like they're waiting for that certain quarter of the year to either get like some sort of tax break or something like that. But I feel like the shot shells are already made. I don't feel like there's going to be a shortage when the season comes, because like Rogers, guarantee you that they have the ammo. I feel like they're waiting until this little bash that they're having this weekend to turn around and get people to actually get hands-on. There'll probably be some sort of price bump, or obviously they'll sell it at full price. They won't have like any sort of discounts or anything like that. And then after that bash, I guarantee you within the next 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, after they're done with that whole gathering that they're doing, watch. It's going to smash online. There's going to be newsletters out with all ammo. And once Roger does it, everyone else is going to follow suit. So far as Bass Pro and, a lot of your other big companies. But it's like I was just at, there's a Cabela's back in Virginia. I went back there for the beginning of July, end of June, and they I walked in there, and the Kent Fast Deal, I know I was purchasing them at like $22 a box. And when I went to go buy any sort of shells just to see if they had any, they had 3.5-inch number 3s in there, and they were $27. So it was already a price hack of what I can't do math very well. So like $4 or something like that. So you figure $4 extra a box, and people are buying by the case or whatever, like that's a pretty big jump. So now as for Boss itself, I know that's like the hot topic nowadays. I feel like Boss will continue shipping out, providing shells, because right now they still got them. I know that they're cutting back. They're just going to be making like what I think the email said, like 410, 20 gauge, and 12. And they're going to, I think, stop producing or slow down on like the 28, all your sub gauges, which, I don't know, really doesn't bother me. I shoot 12 gauge, so it's kind of like the safe go-to. But yeah, as for the shortage, I don't think so. Yeah, the season to start to bump up the price. Yeah. The way they do that, this right here, where they're going to wait until the season starts to bump up the price, they're getting all the all the people just trying to buy right now at the normal price, and turn around as soon as the season starts, they'll turn around and hike it up. But it's just like gas. Gas, it flexes with all like different elections going on and all that sort of stuff. It's all a political game. So you just got to buy it when you find it and buy it at a good price. So I wouldn't go out there and like, as soon as they drop ammo, like drop $1,000 on it, which some people are doing. I see on Instagram. I ain't got the money for that. And second, like you can just wait for discounts and sales and all that sort of stuff. Like you don't need that much right now, which I feel like is probably going to affect other people too, because now you're buying up everything just to sit on it. Like you pretty much look at it as the toilet paper of Corona when Corona first kicked off. So So Federal's making more ammo than ever before. I know it had restricting how much employees can get. Yep. I think that's kind of across the country. Like here, they're only letting you buy, I think, like 2 boxes. If you find it, every time I walk in a store around here, you can't find it. And that's another thing too. So I got about 5 minutes. Restricting how much employees can get. I feel, and this may be another thing. You think that some of the small, companies that we got, or not even small, like let's say like Academy Outdoors, Academy Sports, whatever. Do you feel like some of the employees are holding it in the back for their buddies, around in the area, so that way their friends are getting the ammo or getting the shotgun shells? Because I honestly, to God, think that that's the issue around here. I think that there's the good old boy system that's happening, and also if there isn't a restriction, like what he was saying, maybe the employees are buying it up and flipping it. I mean that could be another thing too. So because if I worked at a place and there wasn't a restriction, and I knew I could buy that ammo and turn around and flip it, like especially with like these random Instagram pages that pop up with these ammo sellers, I think that they might have something going. Tons of 3.5-inch shells around. That's why I ended up picking up when I was at Cabela's, because I don't mind shooting 3.5-inch. Well, I'm going to go ahead and hop off here. I appreciate everyone that tuned in. Hey, if you're watching this right now, you haven't clicked that thumbs up button. If you can, smash it for me, please. And I appreciate y'all being very engaging with the comments. I'm going to hop over to Daddy Duck 365 on his YouTube channel. We're going to be going live. It's me, him, and Jay from the Bicknell Bunch. And we definitely got some pretty cool topics that we're going to talk about tonight. So hop over there, and I'll see you. Appreciate it, guys.